the prices of the drones, or it is varying from OEM to OEM, and particularly in the case of when you're selling a drone, which is a second-hand drone or a lease
So
on.
there is no control on that aspect. Okay, it's all up to left up to the OEMs. For example, take example of mobile. Is there any control on the cost price of the mobile or car? No, right? Same
No.
goes it. Because see, for you, you may think, array, like for Apple, if you see Apple mobile and any other small mobile, 10,000 rupees cost, the more mobile are more or less same only. Okay, but Apple cost you 70,000 rupees, 80,000 rupees, whereas the normal phone from Redmi may cost you only 10,000 to 15,000 rupees. Both are functioning same way. There could be difference in technology, there could be difference in parts and all the things. I can understand that, but still 70,000 or 80,000 is not justified for Apple. But why they are charging? Because the amount of research they have gone into, the kind of components they have used, that's why the cost of that device increases. So you really cannot justify or differentiate the cost factor. It's all left to OEMs on what price. Sometimes that 70,000 mobile Apple sells, when they come up with the new version of Apple, they sell that phone at half price also. So people will think, यार अभी 70 में बेच रहा था, अभी 30 में बेच रहे हैं. How do you justify this cost? तो पहले 30 में बेचता तो और ज्यादा बिकता था ना. Something like that. People will think like that. So there is no what do you say, regulatory body or body which concerns about it. So there are drones which starts with 2,000 rupees. There are drones 10,000 rupees, 20,000, 50,000, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs, up to 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs. Higher drones, matlab, like Predator, how much it goes. You see, it goes in crores, right? So it depends upon what drones and what purpose you drone and who is purchasing for whom. All that comes into the picture.
So in case of gifting also, sir, is there a taxation that is involved in case, person A gives it to person B?
There is no taxation or anything been related to it. So you
Okay.
purchased a drone, you have already paid the tax. You are giving it to somebody in your family or your friend. There is
So
no
that
taxation.
so
But
that
only you have to mention you may have purchased, because you may have purchased new drone. So if you are giving it to somebody or your friend, that drone has to be registered on his name. That is what you have to take care.
and this if it's listed in the name of the company, it attracts depreciation.
Yes, it will come into depreciation because see, the moment you registered your drone, you have to get your drone's insurance also. So during insurance, they will see what is the manufacturing date. So initially, you may have the warranty of the drone. You may have a insurance from the company itself also a lot of time. Okay, or you may have purchased a third party insurance. The moment you cross first year, the second year, again the insurance values, the AMC values will change based on the value depreciate. But then you see it is not beneficial. The value of the drone will increase, but your premium or your AMC cost will always remain same, or it will may increase also. Okay, so vice versa. Value to differentiate होगा ही होगा.
No,
Like for
in the books
example,
of accounts also, can you take, can you consider it as a machinery and take depreciation on that?
yeah, correct. Because the same drone which cost you when you're buying it fresh, it may cost you 8 lakh rupees. After 1 year, if you're trying to consider the cost of the drone would maybe less 1 lakh rupees. So 7 lakh rupees हो जाएगा. Depreciate होगा ही होगा उसका. Because new drone would have come, new technology would have come, higher version of components would have come. So that drone might have cost 8.5 lakh or something like that. So Purana drone, the old drone is old drone.
Got it, sir.
Okay, so that's about the type certification and your UIN number and transfer and deregistration of drones. Now let's see the operations of the drone. So this is a segment in your drone rules 2021. How do you segregate your operations of drone with respect to the zones? So there is something called as airspace map for unmanned aircraft system operations, segregating the entire airspace of India into red zone, yellow zone, and green zone with horizontal resolution equal or finer than 10 meters. That means whatever the map you are seeing, airspace map you are seeing, it can zoom up to finer than 10 meters. That level it can go up to details. Okay, as of now, that is what is been predicted in drone rules 2021. So now the high security area, there could be a lot of different high security area. For example, your airport is high security area, your parliament house is a high security area, Rashtrapati Bhavan is your high security. Any central government or state government offices, buildings are always a high security area where the people of very high caliber, like chief ministers, deputy chief ministers, or governor, those people who stay or whose offices are there, they are all high security area. So for our understanding purpose, maximum or with respect to the operations of the drone, we will consider high security area as airport, because that's the best example to explain you the operations of the drone with respect to the zones. So your airport is always a high security area and it is always as red zone. You cannot fly your drone in airport area. Okay, it is completely prohibited. Okay, so red zone, high security area, airport is the classic example. Now airport will have a boundary, a perimeter wall. So from perimeter till 5 kilometers, from the boundary of your airport till the 5 kilometer airport and the 5 kilometer area will be a red zone. You got it? So this these lines, blue lines, you see these are perimeters. Okay, so from perimeter in all direction, 360 direction, okay, up to 5 kilometer is your red zone. So this is a completely no fly zone, or it is also called as prohibited area. You cannot fly drone after 5 kilometers up to 3 kilometers. So that is 8 kilometers, from 5 kilometers till 8 kilometers within the height of 200 feet is called as inner yellow zone. Okay, inner yellow zone, 200 feet is the limit. Okay, and above is inner yellow zone. So you cannot fly here in yellow zone without permission of ATC. If you want to fly a drone over here, you have to take the permission of ATC. Okay, after 8 kilometers, okay, now in 8 kilometers till add 4 kilometers, that is 12 kilometers. So from 8 kilometers till 12 kilometers, there are two segments. There is something called as a green zone. Green zone is up to 200 feet. So from ground up to 200 feet, from 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers is green zone, and beyond 200 kilometer is outer yellow zone, that is up to 400 feet. Okay, so outer yellow zone is from 200 feet up to 400 feet. Again, in this area also you need to take the permission from ATC. Whereas in green zone, that is from 8 kilometers till 12 kilometers, which is 200 limit up to 200 feet, you have no requirement of permissions. You don't require to take permission. You can fly in green zone beyond 12 kilometers, but up to 400 feet of height is your green zone. In this green zone, you don't require any permission to fly the drone. You can fly in green zone without permission. Now there is a catch into this also. Okay, it doesn't mean that green zone hai, 400 feet hai, I can fly the drone. No. For example, green zone में मेरा resort है. अब resort में आए, can you fly the drone in my resort though it is in a green zone? Can you fly? What do you think?
No, it would be a private property, right?
Correct. It could be a private property. For example, forest hai. Okay, forest location is in green zone, but can you fly in green zone in forest? No, because that comes under the forest department. You have to take approval from forest department. Similarly, there could be a location like dam, okay, which is a green zone. Can you fly? No, because that could be a restricted area. Okay, so there would be a places which could be not nominated under red zone, yellow zone, but they will be in a green zone, but they could be have some sensitivity of it, or some sort of separate restrictions could be there. Okay, for example, temple, Tirupati temple, Siddhivinayak temple, or anyway, Siddhivinayak temple is in red zone, Tirupati temple, or Shirdi Sai Baba temple, or Madurai temple. You know, there are these places. Okay, or what is that temple? There is one more temple in south. I don't remember the name. So there are these are some sacred places where you are not allowed to fly the drone, even though they are in green zone. Okay, so if you have to fly at that location, you have to take permission. Like for the basic example, मैंने दिया resort का. Resort is a private property or some bungalow, you know, or some location where you are trying to fly the drone. If it is not, it's not a public property, you cannot. Even for example, in village, I am flying a drone. Okay, it might be a public place, but in village, I cannot, because that gram panchayat might take a objection on it. Okay, the sarpanch may come and say that why, how are you flying the drone in my village? So you have to take permissions from that, or you may have to take permission from the local enforcement body if you are flying a drone in XYZ location, even though it is in a green zone also. So you, it's not necessary that green zone है 400 feet का limit है, I can fly the drone. It's not. You need to see where you are flying drone, for what purpose you are flying. If there are certain approvals needs to be taken, you have to take that approval. Even for you are doing a wedding photography in a resort, and that resort owner or the person who has who is actually coordinating for or event manager for that wedding, he has authorized you to give that project. You should take a writing from him. As a cinematographer or aerial video photographer, you should take it in writing that you are authorizing, you are getting authorized for doing so and so activity on so and so day and so time. Then only you should fly. Without that authorization, you should not do. अगर कल कुछ मिसहैप हो जाता है, कुछ इशू आ जाता है, you will be at fault. Okay, in case अगर कोई guest injured हो जाता है because of your drone, for example, just I'm giving an example. So if you do not have a approval, first fault will be yours. Like जैसे हम लोग कार चलाते हैं, तो कार चलाते लाइसेंस होना चाहिए, पीयूसी होना चाहिए, इंश्योरेंस होना चाहिए, all that things should be there. But that doesn't mean that कि मैं कार जाके किसी को भी ठोक दूं, right? It's not. I still have to fly, or still have to drive my car sensibly and responsibly, right? Making sure that I'm following safety security procedures. Okay, but I need to have. But अगर मेरे पास लाइसेंस ही नहीं है और मैं कार ड्राइव कर रहा हूँ और एक्सीडेंट कर दिया, तो not because of having license, I am completely at first fault, right? Similarly, for flying in a green zone, you need to have approvals, you need to have authorization for even in those zones. Whereas in red zone and yellow zone, definitely you need so for example, in case you have to fly a drone in red zone. Okay, in red zone, for example, Kempagowda airport जब authorize हो रहा था या inaugurate हो रहा था, they wanted to take the footage of inauguration and all the thing using the drones. So they have given that contract to some drone vendor. Now that drone vendor has to take the permission. So he has taken the permission with behalf of the airport authority from the central government, since it was under the red zone. So when the red zone में आपको approval लेना है, तो you have to take the permission from the central government. Whereas for the yellow zone, you have to take the permission from the ATC or from the relevant bodies. Like for example, आप अगर yellow zone है, okay, and और red zone है, for example, आपका refinery जैसा location है, या फिर what is that, atomic energy वाले locations होते हैं, right, nuclear reactors जैसे locations होते हैं, वहाँ पे अगर आपको drone fly करना है, तो relevant bodies का आपको permission लेना पड़ेगा. Then only you are authorized to fly the drones in those zones. Okay, so clear on the red zone, yellow zone and green zone. Any questions, any doubts so far? This is the most important part you need to understand.
No, sir.
Okay, clear, right? So I will show you on the map also how it is. Okay, so stop presenting, present, load. Okay, let me know once you are able to see my browser.
We can see.
So we'll go on the Digital Sky platform. Okay, this is a website for drones. Okay, on this website, you scroll down there is something called airspace map. Okay, you click on airspace map, it will open the map of India. Okay, and there are legends. Okay, so we'll just off all the legends, and then normally it will just show a plain map what we see on Google Sky or digital sky. So you can zoom it as much you want. Okay, you can go. You can, let's see example of Mumbai. You see Mumbai, you can see Mumbai, right? Now let's see the airport red first. You can see airport red. This is the two strips are there. That's why two circles are there with respect to that strips on the boundaries. Whereas there is a new terminal or new airport has come up in Mumbai, Navi Mumbai. So you have another red zone over here. Okay. So now let's see. These are the red zones. Now if you see Nasik, in Nasik we have an airport at Ozar. Okay. Or you can see here City Airport. Okay. Or at Sambhajinagar. Okay. Or Aurangabad. There was an airport. Or even in Pune there is an airport. Okay. Wherever you have an airport, you will have. Okay, like you have an airport in Kolhapur, you have a new airport just recently, last couple of years back in Ratnagiri or Malvan, okay, or Goa. So these are all airport red zones. Okay, these are all airport red zones. Now, with respect to the airport red zone, let's see the inner yellow. Okay, that is from 5 kilometers to 8 kilometers. You can see the boundary of inner yellow zone. You can zoom it also further, see it in detail also. Okay. If you see from Mumbai perspective, your red zone is up to Bandra, but your yellow zone is up to Padar. Okay, if you see from here, your red zone is up to Jogeshwari, Goregaon, but your yellow zone is up to Malad. Okay, now let's say outer yellow. Okay, so your diameter has become big. So up to Boroli, you have the outer yellow, or from here you can see up to Baikala. Okay, now let's see bigger red zone or the red zone. Okay, now I'm clicking on the red zone. See now it changes. Huh? You see? You see how the red zone is there. Okay, and then there could be a temporary red zone also. Okay, so you see there are different zones. Now see, with respect to Mumbai, there now earlier there was a red zone up to Palghar. I think they have removed now. When I was taking a class, there was a red zone up to Palghar. Okay, now they have removed that. Okay, but whereas you see here, okay, I removed this temporary red zone and the red zone. You see, it is only the basic red zones. But if you see Pune, okay, earlier Pune was only the airport was the red zone. Okay, whereas you see Ahmednagar or even this Sangam Nevar, all these were just the airports were red zone. But now, since 4th December 2024, the entire area of Aurangabad, Pune, and Solapur, this entire region, okay, is completely under the red zone. You see here, अभी ये थोड़ा छोटा कर दिया उन्होंने, but still it is completely under the red zone. So you cannot fly a drone in this segment. So there were some RPTOs, the training institutes, they were also impacted. They cannot fly drones because of this red zone. Okay, they have to apply special permission. So they have, after a 1 month of back and forth and permissions, letters, and meeting the government officials and all that things, those RPTO has got a temporary permission for training purposes only within their specified area, and that also for 1 year period only. Whereas if you see this location, okay, see this is done on 4th December 2024. This is valid till 3rd December 2027. That means this red zone is applicable for 3 years. Okay, so 3 years this zone is completely under red zone. They may feel in later on, maybe after 1 year, they feel that this is not required. They may remove it. Okay, like last couple of months back, even Goa was completely under the red zone. Okay, now they have removed the Goa. They have only put the airport as the red zone. Whereas if you see, there are some places in sea also marked. as a red zones. You see here even Mumbai and all that thing. These are the places where those rigs are there, okay, or some important installations or some important places, ships and all those docking places would be there. So they have been marked as red zone. Okay, international boundary. If you see international boundary, okay, if you go closer to the international boundary, this area is 25 kilometers. Okay, so within this 25 kilometers, you cannot fly your drones. They have been marked as red zones. So on the international boundary, you cannot fly. They are straight away red zone. So a lot of time, drones come from Pakistan to India. You know, they do a lot of infiltrations, or even sometimes from China. Also, a lot of times the drone comes over here in either here in Ladakh region or in Arunachal Pradesh also. You know, these places you will see drones coming and infiltrating our boundaries. So we normally shoot them or try to capture them using different mechanisms. So clear on the red zones, yellow zone, and green zone. Any questions you have?
Sir Jagjeet here.
Hmm.
So this, while we understand the red zone, yellow zone, the definition that's given. Now, for an organization which is looking at doing logistics, how does this operate? Because logistics is primarily related to air or water.
Mhm.
The goods arrive at a destination by road, air, or by water.
Hmm.
Then how does drones or use of drones work in case of logistics, or whether that is not defined yet?
So that, as I said earlier, that ecosystem is still not been put up here, or that mechanism is not there here. Okay, but in future, for example, okay, since you have taken up the question, I will take an example. For example, from Mumbai, uh, I want to fly to, let's say, Surat. Okay, my drone is going from Mumbai to Surat. So here I will define a corridor in which my drone has to fly. Okay, that is how I will set up the ecosystem. That is how I will define my BVLOS segment. Okay, beyond visual line of sight. I will have to define a place from where my drone is going to take off and where my drone is going to land. This is in the case of delivery I am talking about, or maybe drone taxi also in that case. Okay, so these are still not in functional. Okay, we may have to set up a vertiport. Like for example, I want to set up from Boroli area. Okay, so or maybe let's say somewhere here, Daisar area. I will set up a vertiport over here, and then probably maybe somewhere in Dhanu location, I will set up another vertiport here. Okay, and then probably at Daman, and then depending upon what kind of drones I'm going to do, and then probably at Surat, I will have another vertiport. So there will be multiple vertiports. Vertiports are nothing but like how you have a helipads. Okay, so for drone, it is called as vertiports. Okay, so those vertiports can be for small drones or medium or large class of drones, depending upon what operations you want to perform. So there could be a vertiport, could be in your balcony also in future. Okay, so there would be a delivery of parcels. So people will have some vertiports on their balcony also. Like it will come land and it will drop your parcel and the drone will fly back. Okay, or you may take the parcel and then drone will disengage and it will fly back to its source location. That's how it will work in logistics or supply or in drone taxi in future. As of now, this is not been defined or not available on the platform.
Got it, sir. So there is an ecosystem that is getting evolved, and hence there is a big opportunity there. Then in that case,
Yes,
because
yes.
currently there is nobody who's so there would be a policy
there
that
are
okay,
there are
we could
some
fly these
companies
people.
who are
Yeah.
working, testing, and developing this ecosystem. There are startups, there are people who are doing it. There is a UTMs are getting developed, there are logistics are getting tested and all that. There is a test going between Vasai to Bhiwandi for supply. Okay, so there is a company who are doing the testing and all that things. So that's happening over there between Bombay to probably not up to Surat, but nearby location like Palghar or Dhanu location. There are tests going on, or from Mumbai to Navi Mumbai. These kind of tests and all the things are happening or planned. Okay, as of now, they are not testing in the crowded location or a city location. They are taking a currently test in a open or less I would say what to say critical kind of locations. Okay, that's why I said Vasai to Bhiwandi or between Palghar and Mira Road or kind of those locations. Where you will have a less challenge of infrastructure and all the things. So there are some tests happening, or maybe in remote locations also. So they are testing. In Rajasthan also there are a lot of testing happening on the hybrid drones and all the things. So there are things are happening, but still they are not at only test level are there. They are not still open for general people or thing, because ecosystem or the rules or regulations are not there, because DGCA is involved with those people, and they are trying to frame the things, regulations, documentation, rules, all that things they are going to put up. Like I said, you setting up the vertiport. Last year only during September they released the document for setting up the vertiport, but still nobody has set up the vertiports. Okay, still people are thinking, because it requires the infrastructure to be set up. As of now, you do not have a clarity. Like मैंने vertiport तो set up किया, but drone आके उस पे land भी तो होना चाहिए, या drone fly भी तो होने चाहिए. So still nobody has set up. So we, even at our flying location, we intend to set up our flying location as a helipad as well as vertiport also. So we'll be creating one helipad in the center and then two vertiports at the side of those helipads. So we can land the helicopter on our flying location, as well as we should able to land drones from across. Like probably a drone flying from Navi Mumbai can come to my Igatpuri location, or even from Mumbai Igatpuri location also. So in that scenario, I can set up my vertiport. Yeah, Parag.
One small clarification. If what you just said, that you're planning to set up, in your case, a heliport or
Helipad.
helipad, or somebody else is planning to set up a helipad or whatever but doesn't it come under red zone in that case?
So helipad, basically we are setting it in a green zone. Okay. So see, since it is landing, see, these are as of now sensitive areas. Sensitive areas means what? Airports are called as the sensitive areas or restricted area. Now these vertiports are only, as of now, they are defined as a infrastructure, but still they have not defined they will fall into what category or what zones, because this ecosystem is still not built. So nobody knows what is government is going to designate them as, whether it will be called as a red zone or yellow zone, or it will be still be as a green zone also.
No,
Okay.
by virtue of that, when you say ki you have a helipad which gets accommodated as heliport, then that should also apply in Pawan Hans area, because it's not an airport; it's still a helipad.
So that is a red zone for that part.
Uh, So it's contradictory.
No, no, not contrary. The moment you have a helipad, as of now, as per the drone rules, it's a green zone. That's why we have not gone it. We have not done the helipad as of now.
So
Helipad,
Pawan Hans is a green zone.
Pravanhans is not a green zone. Why Pravanhans will be a green zone? It
No,
will.
because it's by virtue it is not an airfield. It is a chopper where you land.
So chopper where you land, if it is regular, like for example at Juhu Aerodrome, Pravanhans are helicopters are getting landed. That's a green zone. Sorry, red zone. It
No,
cannot be a green zone. It will be always a red zone.
so how
Wherever
is
wherever your
how
civil aviation or manned aircraft or manned devices are getting land or take off, that is always a red zone.
so how will that be different than what you just said, in terms of at Igatpuri? What you
So at
planning?
Igatpuri, that is our plan. Okay, we intend to build a helipad. When helipad is in operational purpose, it will be a red zone. When I'm not using it as a helipad, it will be my normal flying location. It will be in green zone. When I am intending an operation of a helipad, I am intending a application of landing a flight. That point in time, it will be a red zone. That point in time, I cannot fly a drone over there. जैसे मेरा हेलीकॉप्टर लैंड हो रहा है, मेरे को उसका ड्रोन का शूट लेना है. I cannot do that. If I have to do that, since it is a red zone, I have to take a permission from that person who owns that helipad, or the person who operates that helipad.
Yeah.
Example, I will give you a separate example, for your clarification. Let example, I'll tell you, Symbiosis International University, which is in Pune. Okay, it is in green zone. They have 3 helipads on it. Okay, they have made 3 helipads. They are built, but when their helipads are operationals, they become as a restricted access. Okay, so normally अभी मैं वो helipad पे जाके बच्चे लोग क्रिकेट खेलते हैं. Okay, because that's just an area. Okay, it's a when they make a helipad, it is they have to follow certain rules and regulations and make that as a helipad. But that helipad is not 100% operational every point in time. Okay, it has been made only when it is need basis required. Like example, in 2019 or 20, Modi had come over there, okay, in a helicopter. So that time they had implemented all the restrictions over there. अभी आप जाके देखोगे वो हेलीपैड इज जस्ट लाइक अ प्लेस दे पार्क द कार्स ओवर देयर. गॉट इट. सो
Yes.
हेलीपैड इट इज नॉट कंटिन्यूअसली ऑपरेशनल. अगर आपका कंटिन्यूअसली ऑपरेशनल है एज अ हेलीपैड, जैसे पवन हंस का हेलीपैड इज कंटिन्यूअसली ऑपरेशनल, इट इज ऑलवेज अ रेड जोन
Okay.
because it will be monitored. That helipad is that Pawan Hans ka helipad is continuously monitored by ATC because आपके हेलीकॉप्टर्स कंटिन्यूअसली आते हैं जाते हैं. जैसे मेरा जू एरोड्रोम पे जो हेलीपैड का लोकेशन है, दैट इज कंटिन्यूअसली मॉनिटर्ड बाय ATC ओवर देयर. So there you cannot fly. That's why we cannot do drone flying in 2019 over there. Initially हमको जो authorization मिला था, हम लोग वहाँ पे drone flying कर सकते थे. Initially we did for some period, but later on airport authority banned that you cannot fly drones over here, and that's why we have to shift our drone activity or drone flying from Juhu aerodrome to Dhule airport. अभी दिलो एयरपोर्ट पे भी इनिशियली हमको परमिशन मिला था, अभी नहीं मिल रहा है अभी. That's why we have challenges. वो हर महीने अप्रूवल लेना पड़ता है. Okay, so every month it is not feasible to take the operation approvals and all the things and conduct drone training. That's why we have moved from Dhule to an independent location. अभी यहाँ पे हम लोग जो हेलीपैड सेटअप कर रहे हैं ना, that is only our private interest कि हम लोग यहाँ पे एक हेलीपैड बना देंगे. In case people wanted to land aircraft, then people can land over there. But moment you have that kind of activity, that particular time and requirement will become as a red zone. And if I make a vertiport, we still not clear vertiport बनने के बाद क्या होगा, what it would be designated. Okay, whether the vertiport will be called as a red zone, yellow zone, or a green zone. I feel when vertiports are applicable, it will become a yellow zones because the vertiports will be controlled by ATC. So any airspace which is monitored by ATC is always a yellow zone, yellow and red zone. So normally जो आपका flying होता है वो हमेशा yellow zone में होता है.
Okay.
Got it? So I hope
Yeah, got it.
you got what I'm trying to say. So still
Yes, yes.
still there are some open statements or open things are there. Still we do not know how it will be. So as things comes up into it, we'll come to know. Like अभी से vertiport बनाना कैसा है उसका documentation, but उस vertiport को क्या zone में रहेगा, that is not. It is my guess that it would be yellow zone. I do not know what would they. Maybe एक अलग zone भी बना सकते हैं कि ये orange zone बना सकते हैं या some blue zone or something. We don't know what to do. Yeah, Jagjeet.
Sir, is there a country outside which has already established this, which can be or which is being studied as a model today for
So
developing?
if you see vertiport technology or vertiport documentation, what is released in September 2024, that document is derived from Australia. So Australia has taken the lead and developing the vertiports, but still there is no vertiport. I mean vertiport बनाए हैं, but still that ecosystem is not 100%. Okay, for example, you might have heard drone taxi between Bangalore and the Bangalore airport, or
Yes.
even Dubai, Abu Dhabi, or in even Singapore, Hong Kong locations. These locations where drone taxis are. But still, these are not 100% operational. Still, they are in test mode kind of. Okay. Still, there is no concrete documentation or concrete rules or regulations been defined, or concrete functionality has been defined over there. So for vertiport, we are following the Australia. Okay. So whatever document you will see, their document and our document is almost same. डायग्राम तक
Got it.
सेम, डायग्राम
Got
तक
it, sir.
हमने कॉपी किया है.
Got it, sir.
So that's the about the zones. Okay, let's come back to presentation. Stop presenting. Okay, so that's how your operations of the drones with respect to the red, yellow. So yellow again, you have a two segments, inner yellow and outer yellow, and then you have green zone. Okay, so you have to be clear where what is the limits. Okay, so 5 kilometers till 8 kilometers, 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers, and beyond 12 kilometers. That's how your zones are segregated. From height wise, yellow zone, outer yellow zone, you have 200 feet, a green zone. Above that, you have a 200 to 400 feet is outer yellow zone, and above 200 400 feet is complete yellow zone. Yellow zone means it is under the restrictions of ATC or monitoring of ATC. Green zone, there is no monitoring, but you need to take approvals as per the locations. Okay. जैसे आप कोस्टल इज ऑल्सो ग्रीन जोन, बट देयर यू हैव टू टेक अप्रूवल फ्रॉम कोस्ट गार्ड department or coastal, who is monitoring the coastal segment and all the things. So accordingly, you have to take their approvals over there. Apart from other bodies also over there, maybe law enforcement like police, coastal department, all that thing. Whosoever are there, if there is a port, if you are doing a shooting in a port in a container segment, also you have to take the permission from that body also. Okay, depending upon what. So probably that could be a green zone, it could be a yellow zone, or it could be a red zone, whatever it is. You need to see first that particular location on the digital sky map. That is that it is showing, whether it's showing green zone or what it is. If green zone है तो वहाँ का जो भी local authority रहेगा, you have to apply, check with them what permission is required. Accordingly, you apply and take the permission from them. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as we see, as I've shown you the airspace map and the zones. Okay, what is the mandatory pre-flight verification for zonal testing? So before commencing an unmanned aircraft system operation, a remote pilot shall mandatorily verify the digital sky platform. As I said, whenever you plan to operate your drone, fly your drone, first thing you need to see is check your airspace map on digital sky platform. कहीं वो red zone तो नहीं है, कहीं yellow zone तो नहीं है. It should be always a green zone. Green zone है तो fly कर सकते हो, provided it is not under anybody's authority. अगर किसी का authority है तो again you need to take for approvals. Yellow zone है, red zone है, definitely you need permissions. You cannot fly without. So no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system in red zone or yellow zone without prior permission. Okay, so these are words taken from that drone rules 2021 document. No prior permission shall be required for operating unmanned aircraft system in green zone. See, this is a blanket word or blanket line. Okay, blank word. No permission लिखा है, but no permission doesn't mean that you can fly in green zone anywhere. Okay, resort है तो resort का permission लेना पड़ेगा, village है तो village ग्राम पंचायत का परमिशन लेने का, किसी के फील्ड पे कर रहे हो, है ना, फील्ड पे कर रहे हो तो यू हैव टू, इवन फार्मर से करवा रहे तो फार्मर से लिखित करना है, उस पे यू शुड हैव अ डॉक्यूमेंट, अ टेम्पलेट वेयर यू से ओके बेस्ड ऑन योर रिक्वेस्ट आई एम फ्लाइंग द ड्रोन फॉर स्प्रेइंग एक्टिविटी, you have to take that permission. Okay, like that, though it is a green zone. डायनामिक नेचर, नहीं तो कल बोलेगा अरे इसने ड्रोन फ्लाई किया और मेरा खेती खराब कर दिया, राइट, या फिर ड्रोन आपका क्रैश हो गया और आग लग गया तो खेती को आग लग गया, so that could be a damage, right? So before commencing the operations, you take appropriate approvals or authorization from the person whom or where you are intending to do your operations. Again, dynamic nature of zoning. The central government may update the airspace map on digital sky platform for unmanned aircraft system operates from time to time in order to change the status of area from one zone to another, and such change can even no sooner than 7 days after the date of such update. Okay, so there was a lot of discussions happening that whether there are some places are there in India because of this attack at Palgam area. There are going to be changes into the red zones. Okay, some locations are going to get changed into like also as of yesterday, the Lucknow airport was earlier Lucknow airport was not under the red zone. अभी वो पूरा red zone पे डाल दिए हैं. Okay, so the red zone was there. So like this, there is a dynamic change in the zoning. So you need to. That's why it is saying pre-flight verification of zonalization. It's a responsibility of a remote pilot before commencing of your operation activity or intended area of operation. You have to see the airspace map. Then only you should take the call of flying your drones. Okay, so temporary red zone मैंने बोला था. Okay, temporary red zone is basically for 96 hours. For example, there is a election in Palghar area. The superintendent of police may feel that okay, let me restrict the that particular area as a temporary red zone. For example, जैसे हमारे यहाँ पे मीरा भाईंदर वसई till Palghar, this coastal area is always put up under a temporary red zone during 21st of December till 31st of January. Okay, during that 40 days, it is always a red zone. Okay, so they make it every 96 hours, they update it. So ideally, temporary red zone can be made for 96 hours only. Okay, अगर उसको extend करना है तो they have to again extend it for 96 hours. Again, they have to extend for 96 hours. Or they can create a red zone, normal red zone also for a period. So this can be done by superintendent of police or his equivalent or such officers endeavors to keep the size of temporary red zone reasonable and not excessive. Okay, so they need to define and they need to justify why they are making it as a red zone. For example, elections था या कुछ भी था, so they have made it for 96 hours. या फिर some political कुछ meeting है, Modi coming or the home minister coming to Vadhavan port in Palghar area. There was some meeting or some inspections or some visit was planned. So during that point, they make temporary those zones as red zones. An endeavor shall be made to inform through a digital sky platform or other electronic means to a holder of a unique identification number who are within an distance of 5 kilometers from the perimeter of the temporary red zone. Suppose Palghar area में एक certain location एक एक 5 kilometers 10 kilometers के area को हमने red zone declare कर दिया. From that area of 10 kilometers till another 5 kilometers of area, wherever those any pilots or there are UINs which are registered from that location, they will be informed that this location is being made as a temporary red zone. But okay, there is a but. Okay, distance of 5 kilometers from the perimeter of the temporary red zone of the restriction so declared under the sub rule 1. But in case no such information is received, it shall not absolve a remote pilot's responsibility. Matlab, end of the day, you being as a remote pilot, it is your responsibility to verify the zonal restrictions on the digital sky platform before commencing an unmanned aircraft systems operations. That means it is a 100% remote pilot responsibility to verify. ये नहीं करना कि मैंने फ्लाई किया अरे मुझे नहीं पता था, I didn't see, I didn't check. That excuse is not a. It's your responsibility as a pilot to validate and check that there is no red zone declared at that location. अगर आपको लग रहा है वहाँ पे है तो you take a screenshot of that particular time and save it for your reference. Lot of time when we are taking approvals, we take a screenshot, take a printout, attach it to your application to the rear enforcement government property people. जैसे पुलिस से ले रहे हो या फॉरेस्ट से ले रहे हो, whatever it is, you attach that location under. Like जैसे हम लोग हमारा our RPTO was supposed to be taken a permission, so we have taken the Google Map के screenshots as well as digital sky के भी screenshots and prepared a document and submitted for approvals. Okay, and then they have verified based on our document whether that region falls under red, yellow or green zone. So since it is in a green zone, we got the authorization for flying the drones at that location. Clear? Any questions on the zones or temporary red zone? Okay, so no. So operation of US carriage of dangerous goods. No person shall carry dangerous goods on unmanned aircraft unless such operation is in compliance with aircraft uh, dangerous good rules 2003. Okay, so as I said earlier, there was a car and there was no clarity on what is called as a dangerous good. So if you see the car or the rule 2003, you will know what is what as a dangerous good. Like for example, explosive items or ammunitions or liquor, or all those items are all called as dangerous goods and they are not allowed on the aircraft also. The same are applicable for drones also. So you will see a lot of time drones coming from Pakistan with ammunitions, all the things, or sometimes with the drugs or some kind of thing, or bombs and all the things, which are called as the dangerous goods. They do. So we normally, the BSF or army people, confiscate those drones, or they shoot those drones down and then they take it into their custody. Okay, so you are not allowed. Even a lot of people do a lot of jugglery by putting something on the drone and trying to attach koi flag lagata hai and all that. So that is not actually a right way of doing things. Okay, अभी जैसे आपने देखा रहेगा phantom drone है. It is widely used, that kind of drone, for wedding shoots or photography kind of thing. Okay, so lot, like I have seen couple of phantom drones where they have put a plastic box under the phantom drone. Okay, and they have put flowers and petals and all the things, और वो electronically ऐसे bride और groom के ऊपर लेके जाते हैं and then they open it. So that is not a right way of doing things because you are not authorized to do that. But there are some people are doing, जैसे wedding photographers है, वो ये लोग ने एक नया way of taking more money or more revenue, कि हम लोग ड्रोन से ऊपर से फ्लावर को ड्रॉपिंग करेंगे and then that photograph will take it, and all that things they do it. But that is not a right way of doing it. Right of way. Okay, right way is no person operating unmanned aircraft system shall violate the right of way. Manned aircraft shall remain clear of all manned aircraft. That means the commercial airlines, or they have the first priority. Your drone can stop, you can take your drone down and all the things. The priority is always for the manned aircraft. Okay, so that is the rule, right of way. Mandatory reporting of accident. No later than 48 hours after the accident involving an unmanned aircraft system. Take the plate. Remote pilot of such unmanned aircraft system shall report the accident to the Director General through the Digital Sky platform. Okay. So you have to make sure that if you have some kind of accident or something, you should report within 48 hours. Okay, because if you want to claim the insurance or whatever it is, or if there is loss of life or some challenge or some property damage and all the things, in that scenario you should make sure that you immediately report your accident on the Digital Sky platform, that is within 48 hours. That is how you should take care of your operations. Okay, let's see now some do's and don'ts. So first, whenever you are flying a drone, you should know the specifications of characteristics of that aircraft and how to fly it safely. So when I am going to give you my drone for flying, I will do a briefing to you. What is what and what is not, how to fly, how to do, how that. So all that things I will. So it is your job also to mandatorily know about that particular drone before you are flying. It's not about my drone, but any drone when you are flying for first time or whenever you are flying, you should know it properly. There are certain pre-checklist. Okay, ensure that the aircraft is safe for a flight before you operate. The second statement, that means it says that you have to make sure your aircraft, there is a pre-flight checklist which you need to follow. Okay, before flying the drone. Fly only in good visibility and weather conditions. So you should able to see your drone when it is flying. Can you tell me, like, when my drone is in air, how far my drone will be visible? How far I can see the drone? Take example of phantom drone. I think everybody knows what is phantom drone, right? So can you take a guess how far I can see that drone? Take a guess. No worries.
2
Even you go wrong.
kilometers.
At least you will know.
2
Jagjit,
kilometers.
Jayashil, Anirudh, Parag. Any
I'm
guess how
saying 2
far I can see the
kilometers.
drone? Sorry,
I was saying 2 kilometers.
you're not audible, Jayashri. What could be the range? 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer, 5 kilometer. What could be? Like DJI drones have limit of up to 10 to 20 kilometers of range. We can fly them. But can you see those drones visually? No, right? When I'm talking visually in visible condition, I can see only drone up to 2.5 to 3 kilometers max. But that also very difficult. Ideal range is 2 kilometers. Beyond 2 kilometers, it's very difficult to see those small drones. If your drone is bigger, probably your range may increase, the visibility may increase. जैसे हम लोग एरोप्लेन इतना दूर उड़ता है तो दिखता है ना हमको, up in the high up in the sky, it is so far from us. We normally see aeroplane flying, right? Because the size of the aeroplane is such a big, still I can see it. But अगर वो ये छोटा एरोप्लेन फ्लाई कर रहा होता, I cannot see it. So drone is like a small aeroplane only. So my range is limited because of the size of the device. ओके वही अगर मेरा ड्रोन एरोप्लेन इतना बड़ा होता तो मुझे उतना दूर का भी ड्रोन दिखाई देगा. बट सिंस ड्रोन्स आर quadcopters or hexacopter, they are small drones or even small aeroplane kind of drones, predators, they cannot be seen because their size is very small. So fly only in good visibility and weather condition, because sometimes even weather foggy है तो भले मेरा ड्रोन बड़ा हो, I cannot see 500 meters also. In that scenario, I cannot fly the drones. Okay, so you have to make sure you fly only in good visibility and weather conditions. Keep your aircraft within your sight at all times. Means VLOS condition or visible line of sight. क्या पढ़ा?
Just wanted to check, is there a prescribed DGCI rule about visibility like you have it in on airlines? You have a certain limit that you have to, when you're approaching an airport, you need to have a certain visibility distance. Is there a prescribed
So
rule
ideally,
which
that's what I said, 2 to 2.5 kilometers in
is
visible
it
line of sight.
it's by rule or it's by thumb rule?
Thumb rule,
Okay.
because it varies depending upon what we say the drone what I'm flying. If I'm flying, that's what I gave the example. Phantom drone है तो मुझे 2 किलोमीटर तक ही दिखता है, 2 and 2.5 kilometers. But वहाँ पे मेरा enterprise close drone है. That drone I may be see able to 3 kilometers. If I'm
What
if I'm flying a
what I wanted to know was whether there is a prescribed rule per se.
there is no as such defined rule,
Okay, that's
because
it.
BLOS is something which is subjective again. Okay, so subjective मतलब again conditions, weather हो सकता है, visibility देख सकते हैं, what time of it, because visible condition in a daytime could be different, in a night time could be a different again. So there is no as such rule defined. It is a subjective to the person to person. It is ideally in a normal condition. DGCA says that within a range of 2 to 2 kilometer is the ideal range for a person to see in a normal conditions. Normal conditions, good conditions. Okay?
Okay.
So keep your aircraft within your sight at all times. That is why we are saying we are flying in visible conditions, visual line of sight. Okay. Ensure the operation. Now, as of now, this fifth number point is not applicable because we are not transmitting any or broadcasting any information about the drones and all the thing. This is only applicable with respect to drone and the transmitter. Okay, so you have to make sure that whatever range you have for your transmitter, as of now the range of the transmitters are good, but still you have to make sure that you are flying within that range. Like for example DJI, as I said, अगर उसका 10 किलोमीटर रेंज है तो you have to make sure that you have to fly within 10 kilometer range. If it is fly about 20 kilometers, you can fly up to 20 kilometers. For example, my drone are capable of flying up to only 5 kilometers, so I have to restrict my operations within 5 kilometers only. Okay. Keep a sufficient distance from people, property, and other aircraft, manned or unmanned aircraft. So always make sure that you are flying away from the people, property, or any other aircraft. Either it could be a manned or unmanned aircraft. So these are the do's or restrictions or the rules what you normally follow. Let's see now what are the don'ts. Okay, so opposite of do's will be don'ts. तो फर्स्ट इज डोंट फ्लाई द एयरक्राफ्ट ओवर एनी क्राउड. ओके, जैसे हम लोग वेडिंग के टाइम करते हैं, या अभी जैसे कुंभ मेले में देर वाज अ कंपनी वाज गिवन ऑथराइज. सो अनटिल अनलेस यू आर ऑथराइज to perform that kind of activity or those kind of activities, you should do it. If you are not having authorization or you do not have approvals, don't do that. Don't fly aircraft over any crowd. Do not fly an aircraft weighing more than 7 kg. So this is basically do's and don'ts have been taken from US. For us, it is 2 kg. Okay, about 2 kg. Do not fly an aircraft weighing more than 2 kg in total because you need approvals and permissions. Do not suspend, carry, or attach any item to the aircraft unless it is manufactured to hold that item. I gave you example about flower dropping. You can see in rule number 5 also. Okay. Do not carry hazardous substance using the aircraft. This is as per our drone rules. Do not drop or discharge any item or substance from the aircraft. There was a drone which was created which has a perfume. It used to sprinkle the perfumes from the top. It is not good. If somebody is seeing through that drone and वो perfume का आपके आँख में जाएगा, it will be a dangerous, right? So you should not do all those kind of things. Okay. Do not fly where you may interfere with emergency service provider or moving vehicles where you endanger or distract driver. A lot of people fly drones and fun ke liye they take it near to the vehicle or this kind of this thing like emergency service providers like ambulance hai ya police ka jeep hai and all that. You should not do all the things. This will attract penalty as well as confiscation of your drone as well as you may be behind the bar also. Okay, so don't do all these kind of activities. Do not fly the aircraft over and within the restricted, prohibited, or danger area, including security sensitive locations. This is already we have discussed. Any restricted area or zone or location we should not fly. Danger areas maybe like forest. Okay, prohibited areas could be also forest, dams, or historical locations. All those locations which are prohibited areas, or what is that called, mines, sometimes even in the mines, or refineries, or what we call that, or atomic energy locations or nuclear locations. You should not fly. Do not fly within the 5 kilometers of any airport or military airbase or higher than 200 feet. Why it is higher than 200? Because higher than 200 feet it becomes yellow zone. Okay, so you should never fly near the airports or military air bases and all that. Okay, like Pune airport is not only a commercial airport or civil airport, it is also a military air base. Similarly, even Nasik airport is also under military air base. That's why there are, like Pune, there is a new airport is going to get set up. Okay, away from the current airport. Okay, so new airport is going to come up in the Pune location also. Okay, so we talked about remote pilot certificate. You know what are the rules and regulations for remote pilot. This is as per the drone rules. So you need not less than 18 years and not more than 65 years. There was a person who has taken a license, remote pilot training and certification and license in 2020-22. Okay, so अभी 2025 है, तो उसका age तभी 62 था. Now he has crossed 65, so his license is hold, not cancelled as of now. He has applied because he cannot fly the drone since he is above 65. So DGCA has suspended his license as of now. Okay, as of now it is in suspension state. He has applied for it, for considering it, but DGCA is not authorizing because it's not only about the age factor, but it is about the health, about the eyesight, about the physical fitness of that person, whether he is suitable for flying the drone or not. Okay, so that still that decision has not been taken up. Has to has to pass the class 10th examination or its equivalent from recognized board. Has to successfully complete such training. I mean, whatever the training you are taking, that training you have to complete specified by the DGCA from the authorized remote pilot training, like BFAC. BFC is authorized remote pilot training organization. That's why they are doing it. Okay.
Sir, I had a question.
Yeah.
After getting my license, let's say I happen to get a prescription for my eyesight, would it void my license or anything?
So right now you have a normal eyesight, right? Or you have
Yeah.
तो इन केस लाइक जैसे आप 40 years हो जाते हो, 40 अभी आप 20 years के हो, तो आपका
हाँ,
डेफिनेटली आफ्टर 10 years आपका लाइसेंस विल व्हाट वी से एक्सपायर हो जाएगा. यू विल
रिन्यू करना पड़ेगा, राइट?
आपको रिन्यू करना पड़ेगा, आप रिन्यू करो, तभी आपको आईसाइट नहीं है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको तभी आईसाइट आती है, तो तभी देर विल बी अ नॉर्म्स, यू हैव टू गो थ्रू अ रीसर्टिफिकेशन प्रोसीजर. So that time
राइट,
they will ask you to submit your medical certificate. They will ask you certain documents. They will ask, and then only
राइट,
certificate will be renewed.
ऑल राइट,
Clear? So
या,
जब भी आप रिन्यूअल में जाओगे, फॉर एग्जाम्पल वर्स्ट सिनेरियो, अभी सोचो कि 2 साल के बाद आपको आईसाइट पे प्रॉब्लम आ गया. Okay, but still you will be wearing a glasses, right? So you're using glasses. Your eyesight is normal now.
या,
Okay, so you don't require to do anything until and unless there is major problem in your eyesight, or you are going for a recertification or renewal. Only that time they will ask you to submit the documents. Okay,
सो अगर रिन्यूअल के टाइम पे आई हैव डेवलप्ड सम आईसाइट इश्यूज, आई वेयर ग्लासेस, बट देन मेरे को नहीं मिलेगा क्या रिन्यू करके?
depends upon what rule comes in that point in time. अभी renewal का
ओके,
अभी कोई clarity नहीं, because our rule is just 3 years old. 10 साल के बाद ही हमको पता चलेगा renewal का क्या procedure है.
ओके, ऑल राइट सर, अंडरस्टूड.
Okay, so now they are still, even for example जैसे मैंने बोला ना वो that 65, for example that guy was asked to submit a fitness certificate, but
Right.
वो, they still have not cleared him for renewal because criteria is 65 years. So there is no provision in the rule that beyond 65 you will renew it. So that criteria itself is saying that his license is suspended as of. They have not cancelled it on the ground because this is one of the case has come forward. Okay, they will take a call and probably they will come with some kind of a documentation that अगर 65 above है तो नहीं मिलेगा, तो नहीं मिलेगा. As simple as that. जैसे हमारा 15 साल के बाद हमारा कार is not valid, but they have made a provision that you can take a green tax का करके आप 5 साल के लिए renew कर सकते हो. So that may be 1 time, 2 times you can take it, but not endlessly you will take it, right? तो डिपेंडिंग अपॉन केस टू केस बेसिस. जैसे आपने ग्रीन टैक्स के लिए अप्लाई किया, बट अगर आपका कार इज नॉट सुटेबल फॉर अप्लाइंग फॉर दैट ग्रीन टैक्स, आरटीओ में रिजेक्ट योर एप्लीकेशन आल्सो. ओके, नॉट नेसेसरी ही विल गिव इट. ओके, so how do you apply? Normally this application is not done by the individual. You see here, this is called form D4. Okay, so application of a remote pilot license to be filled by RPTO. That means my team will fill this. Our RPTO will fill this. Or RPTO, this D4 form on behalf of you, when you complete your certifications, your training and everything, we will do the procedure for you. We will fill this form and submit it to DGC behalf of you. We will fill the fees. We will pay the fees for you. Okay, so you don't have to worry about this. So this procedure has to be followed by RPTO. So post you complete your training, within 7 days I have to apply. Okay, remote pilot training organization shall make an application for remote pilot license. So once we come back from Igatpuri, I will be having all your documents. मैं वो सब documents scan करूँगा. You know, lot of things are there, back end work, and I will apply. I will pay the fees on Bharat Coach platform. All that things I will do, and then after that I will get your number. You know, RPC number, certificates will be get printed. All that things will happen, and then I will tell you, okay, your certificates are ready, your logbook is ready. You can come and collect from BFC office. Okay, so that's how the procedure for remote pilot. Okay, so validity of your license, as I said, it's valid only if it is listed on the Digital Sky platform. Unless suspended or cancelled, remain valid for period of 10 years. Can be renewed by DGCA for a period after 10 years, for maximum 10 years, after the payment of fees as per the rule 46. Okay, shall undergo a refresher course. Maybe after 10 years अगर renewal होता है तो मे बी 2 दिन का रिफ्रेशर कोर्स हो सकता है, 2 दिन का हो सकता है, 3 दिन का हो सकता है, या मे बी 5 days का भी हो सकता है. ओके, सो दैट इज नॉट डिफाइंड एज ऑफ नाउ. रिफ्रेशर कोर्स इज ओनली फॉर 2 days. एक्चुअल फॉर द लाइसेंस के लिए रिफ्रेशर कोर्स का कोई डॉक्यूमेंटेशन नहीं है, कोई डेफिनेशन नहीं है एज ऑफ नाउ. ओके, नाउ हु आर exempted from obtaining the pilot license? only people who are flying nano drones, and people who are flying micro drone only for non-commercial purposes. If you are flying a micro drone for for commercial purpose, then you have to obtain the license for that also. Okay, so these are the only two class where they are exempted. Nano to completely exempted hai. Okay, because it's a small miniature drone, so you don't require a license. You can fly nano drones without a license. But your zone rule, नहीं तो आप सोचोगे नैनो ड्रोन के लिए लाइसेंस नहीं है, मैं नैनो ड्रोन एयरपोर्ट पे जाके उड़ाऊं. No, zone rules will apply for that drone over there. Okay, only license is not required. But zone rule, as per the drone rules 2021, zone rule will apply for nano drone also. Clear? Drone insurance. We talked about drone insurance. So I said Motor Vehicle Act 1988 will apply to the drone insurance also. So same rules and regulations, same insurance policy will be applicable to the drone rules. Only thing is you have to make sure that you have to read the insurance copy, what is covered, what is not covered, and then only you have to take it. So person operating an unmanned shall make use of insurance products specifically designed for such operation as and when such insurance product is approved by IRDA. Okay, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority are the body which actually monitors or regulates the insurance. Okay, insurance products. So you have to see, like earlier, initially there were no insurance company who are giving insurance. So initially the first company was National Insurance, then ICICI came, then there was a company by name Rogo Insurance. You know, there are a couple of them, HDFC and all lot of people have started issuing insurance product for drones, provided nano unmanned is operate without her. So nano is been exempted. Okay, nano you do not required without, nano can be operated without third party insurance. Okay, so nano is exempted from getting the insurance for your operations. Okay, so what is drone insurance? It could be like damage to the body. I mean, your drone may your drone is like DJI drones, Air 3S, 1.5 lakh rupees. क्रैश करोगे तो आपका नुकसान हो जाएगा ना, so you can cover it under insurance. तो आपको reimbursement मिल जाएगा in case you crash it. But that is a sensible, like you know, how did you crash? आप जाके ठोक दिया, वो नहीं देगा आपको. Okay, they may give you certain compensation, but not 100% compensation. Okay, drones are prone to crash owing to bad weather, power failure, or inexperienced pilots. So drone crash means damage to the body, damage to the payload which drone is carrying. Okay, sometimes drone तो ठीक ठाक रहता है, but उसका नीचे कैमरा रहता है, वो डैमेज हुआ रहता है. So whether that camera is covered under your insurance policy or not, so that is what you need to read in the document. Sometimes payloads are not covered. Okay, because sometimes payloads are more expensive than the drones. So what insurance you are taking, that you have to read the document. Okay, sometimes even person, अगर वो ड्रोन किसी पर्सन को जाके ठोक दिया, वो पर्सन को इंजर हो सकता है, और he may be dead also because propellers are moving very fast. उसका गला कट गया तो he may become dead also. So you have to be careful. So whether your drone insurance is covering such kind of things or not, or it may damage certain property. आपने किसी बड़े mansion में जाके crash कर दिया drone, you know, sometimes that can also. So what has damage cost, whether that damage will be covered under the insurance or not, depending upon that. So whether you are only covering the only your drone, only your payload, your drone or payload or person or property, you know, accordingly your premium will be defined. So valid insurance policy would either or all of above damages. So depending upon what is covered under your policy, you have to see. Okay, so mandatory third party liability drone insurance. So again, this insurance you can take it based on your requirement. You can take it for a day also, or hour also, 4 hours also, 1 day, 1 month, 1 week, 10 days, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. You can take it. Okay. Requirement of third party drones. So when you are going for this kind of third party, you have to provide all these details: drone serial number, drone UIN number, drone images, front, back, top, serial numbers, all that things, photographs, and all that things you need to share. Sign your policy document, and you have to see what it is covered, whether it is a 5 lakh cover, 10 lakh cover, 20 lakh cover, depending on the plan to plan. So you have to read the document and see what is covered, what is not covered. What is not covered is most important. Okay, जो covered है वो तो पढ़ना ही पढ़ना है, but what is not covered you need to see, because lot of times lot of things you miss out from that. So you have to be careful when you are selecting your policy and the duration, okay, and the coverage, okay, what is it. So all that will decide your premium. ओके, सो लास्ट इज फीस. तो इश्यूएंस, जैसे टाइप सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए फीस है 100 रुपीज. फॉर इश्यूएंस ऑफ यूआईएन नंबर, ट्रांसफर ऑफ यूआईएन नंबर और डी रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफ यूआईएन नंबर, फीस इज 100 रुपीज. फॉर रिमोट पायलट एप्लीकेशन लिस्टिंग और रिन्यूअल, द फीस इज 100 रुपीज. फॉर ऑथराइजेशन और रिन्यूअल ऑफ आरपीटीओ, ओके, हमारा आरपीटीओ हमारा 10 साल के बाद हमको रिन्यू करना है, या जब मुझे अप्लाई करना था फर्स्ट टाइम, तो फीस वॉज 1000 rupees. So apart from D1, D2, D3 and D4, the fees is 100 rupees only. For D5, the fees is 1000 rupees. D5 form is only for authorization and renewal of authorization for remote pilot training organization. The fees is 1000 rupees. Clear on the fees part and the form associated to it? D1, D2, D3, D4 and D5. Okay. Cancellation or suspension. Cancellation or suspension, when Director General, after giving the opportunity of being heard, is satisfied that person has contravened or failed to comply with the provision of these rules, he may or reason to be record in writing cancel or suspend any license, certificate, authorization or approval granted under these rules. Okay, so DGCA can cancel or suspend your license, certificate, authorization or approval. So initially they may just give you a writing, in writing, that this is what we have observed, please clarify or justify. If you are unable to do that in stipulated time, it could be 7 days, it could be 15 days or 1 month, your authorization, license, certification or approval may cancel or be suspended indefinitely. Okay, so that is the authorization given to DPCA in Drone Rules 2021. Penalty and power. So earlier, as per the car, the penalty was somewhere 10 lakh rupees, 25 lakh rupees kind of thing. But now, new rule 2021, minimum penalty what they can leave you on is 1 lakh. It cannot exceed beyond 1 lakh. So penalty, if person contravened or failed to comply with the provision of these rules, he may, for a reason to be recorded in writing, leave a penalty not exceeding rupees 1 lakh in accordance with the provision of section 10A of the act. Okay. Power to inspect. Power to inspect means DGC has a full right to inspect your drones or the facility or the location or the person and all the thing. They can summon me, they can summon you as a pilot also for inspection or some requirement also. They have a power, you cannot neglect. They can summon you for inspection, or they can inspect your drone or your facility or anything related to your operations of drones. So far, any questions? This is the last slide of the first module. The summary of the drone rules. You have to register your drone under the class nano, micro, small, medium, and large. Okay, you can take certifications uh, for the micro, small, medium, and large. For a pilot, you have to take a pilot license for micro, small, medium, and large. For permission in green zone, you don't require any permission. Okay, but in yellow zone, yes, you required permission for all sort of drones. For red zone, also you required permission. For R&D, education and testing, you don't require any kind of permission. Okay, but there are certain catch we will see when we see actual drone rules document. Okay, so that I will discuss after the lunch. Okay, you said that you want to have a smaller time of lunch. You can tell me what time you want to resume back. Okay, so I hope you are clear. I have taken a lengthy session on this particular important topic. Okay, almost more than